welcome to another episode of Anime Paint Night. My name is Corey. This month we are doing a watercolor collage featuring a character from Spy X Family. So if you signed up for the kit, you'll get the materials, you'll get a watercolor set, some pieces of watercolor paper, a canvas board, and some glue. So basically what we're going to be doing is there are pieces of watercolor paper cut into the shape of Anya. You're going to paint them and piece them all together and then assemble them on the canvas board. And as I mentioned, we are doing Anya, the telepathic child in the series, because she is adorable. And I thought it'd be a fun character to paint. So the image, there's also a reference image included. Basically, it's the cover from volume 2. We're going to use that sort of as like a reference image for her face. But that is basically sort of the look that we're going for based off of that cover. So, like I said, there's all the different pieces that we're going to assemble like a puzzle after they're finished. So as you can see in the video, I'm kind of going back and forth between the different parts. There's her hair, her face and neck, and then her shoulders, which is pretty much just her whole school uniform. So like that's all one piece. And then the little bits in her hair. So I kind of just went back and forth because with watercolor, if you paint two different colors directly next to each other and they touch, they tend to like sort of blend together and get all muddy. So I'm sort of just taking my time and going back and forth between each piece and then coloring them, waiting for them to dry, and then moving back to do the other different colors. So especially with her little uniform, black is especially overpowering. So doing the little yellow trim on it, wanted to make sure that it didn't bleed into that and that all stayed crisp. So I just waited for those bits to dry before going back in with the black paint for those. For her hair, it's mostly pink, but I did use some red and blend that into the bottom of it to kind of make the tips of her hair seem a little darker. On the cover, it kind of looks like it's like a gradient or an ombre. So like I'm just adding in some red to the pink in her hair to make that effect. Then with her face, basically you're going to be drawing in her eyes and her mouth and a little tiny nose. With her mouth, basically it's just like kind of upside down D or sideways D pretty much, with the teeth on the top and then like open mouth. You can see her tongue, and then she's got the big green eyes. So basically I just took a pencil and drew in the big circles, and then when I went in with the green paint, I kind of did the same thing I did with the hair. I started with like a layer of like lighter green and then put in a little bit of the darker green towards the top of her irises. Then once the green had dried, I went back in with the white and tried to put in some little white dots near the top of her eyes. But for the most part, this is the painting part is pretty straightforward and simple. The one thing that you're going to have to mix, because the set doesn't have that color, is her skin tone. Basically, I took orange and brown and white and just sort of blended them in together, and that made a pretty decent skin tone. If you want to try and blend a couple different versions of it, you'll be able to like get like If you want to do like some shadows or highlights, I kind of went back in later on with a slightly darker tint of it to do like kind of a shadow along her chin and under her neck. But it's pretty much up to you to do that part. So once all the pieces are painted, then you are going to assemble them on the canvas. So the canvas, I kind of just went with like a abstract background. The reference image on the cover, she's sitting in those kind of like an abstract chair design with round cushions. Instead of just drawing like the whole sea, I just drew like the round colorful circles to give the background some interest, but not to be like overpowering. But it's up to you what you put in the background. The main thing is just painting it and then letting that dry before we glue everything together. So as you're assembling, you may need to, I was arranging it, I did wind up trimming a little bit of the bottom of the uniform bit off so that I could slide everything down so that none of it was like sticking off of the canvas. But again, it's up to you if you want to like have kind of a part of it sticking off, kind of have like that 3D effect. It's up to you. But once everything is dried, just use the glue stick to attach everything together. Basically, you're going to layer everything. You're going to put the head first, then the body, then the two little bits that go in her hair, and then finally you'll put her hair down. So once everything is finished, you'll have your anime collage. So I hope you guys enjoyed and it came out well for you. If you're interested in doing more anime paint nights, it's a monthly virtual program, so go to suffolkpubliclibrary.com to see what is coming up next. Next month, I believe we are doing some mini Pokemon paintings with the holiday theme. So I will see you guys then. Bye.